All right, and with all of that, let's go ahead and get into our segment here in regards to the artist training ground. One quick update on Equestria Daily. That is the Brony show. Though I'm glad I defaulted to my own website.
Yay!
And the artist training ground still has not posted the first run. So we're gonna go ahead and do our best to do the topic literally as we go. Now, of
Mhm.
course, the topic is the Brony Show Arting Guide. Of course, this is our once again definitive guide that we will probably do again in about 200 episodes from now because we do this a lot.
Hey, Circuit.
Yes.
Uh, I know this is bad timing, but my laundry just finished, like dry. I'll be right back.
It's all right.
Can you stall
So,
for a moment?
in terms
Okay.
of how many art episodes we've done, I believe there has been one per every 50 episodes, approximately.
We have really got to do some more episodes about other things, don't we?
There's too much art. It's too
Well,
high.
doing things about art is a good thing, and I believe we're doing it at a good rate. I mean,
Yeah.
heck, I believe a couple of those were, okay, we're trying to do art this week, but it's failing. So we're doing it next week.
Okay, that one, yeah, that's a little that definitely is. Yeah, I get
So I
that
think
one. Yeah.
that takes three of those kind of
Yeah.
iffy in and out of it.
All right, so with the arting guide, basic general, we narrowed it down to basically 5 categories, or at least I did for the moment. With first supplies, drawing tablets and supplies for for any artist, starting from the absolute beginner to somebody who's a little bit more advanced but needs a little bit of help. Of course, anything about this guide is not for extremely advanced people. You people already know what the heck you're doing. You don't need help. You already know how to find what you're looking for. You already know what to look for, what you're looking for. We're obviously not the best source for this. This is more for people who have either a small idea, no idea, or just need a swift kick in the cheek about getting started on this stuff. But along with that, we got drawing tablets and supplies. We also have a recommendation of art programs and utilities that can be used. Along with that, we also have guides. What I mean by drawing guides, of course, is we have visual guides, flash guides, video guides, all sorts of guides or ways that you can find said guides, especially if you are using an artist program or an arting program that nobody is familiar with or you're not familiar with. Along with that, the big thing about all artist challenges is you need to have other ways of challenging yourself, trying to make different results, and also practice. Practice, practice, practice. And of course,
I'm horrible at that.
yes. And the big one. This is the absolute big one is feedback. When you're making art, you are going to present it to people, and you have to learn how to accept feedback. Now, granted, this can come in many different forms. Anything from actually listening to when people offer a unique and understandable criticism to ignoring criticism, especially when it has nothing to value, or basically they're criticizing the wrong thing. Like they're wondering why in the world does Applejack have a red hat instead of an orange one? And did half of our chat room literally just drop out of the sky?
Hold on, may have been it. Oh wait, It says I'm connected.
I'm connected too.
Yep, I just got back.
Okay. Jeez, I thought I literally... I scared away half of our audience immediately talking about this. We're gonna talk about Harding. Boom. Okay. We won't.
No. Apparently, it was just something on the IRC side. Everything's all right. If you are not back in the IRC and you're wondering what's going on, just go over to Twitch or go to YouTube. Those are still working fine.
All right. Any case, so that is our segments here. Of course, along with this, you can see that it is quite blank, and we have plenty of room. So those of you in the chat room, if you think that we should add an extra section, if you think we should add something else that we may miss about talking, or we should add just for the sake of adding, let us know. We want to incorporate everybody's ideas, because the big thing I found out when gathering information is everybody has different ideas on how to do this. Some people actually have different ways of gathering inspiration, different ways of doing art, different ways of sharing it. And these are things that I found. It doesn't necessarily mean, I apologize, that it is the only way to do what I have found.
Mm-hmm.
And we are always open and welcome to anybody's thoughts and ideas on this. Let's see. So, in any case, getting back on track here, let's go ahead and start off with the big thing. Drawing tablets and supplies.
I'm
Now-
back. Okay.
Welcome back. You just missed the intro.
Well, basically, I just went over the different segments here, and we're going to the first one with drawing tablets and supplies.
Okay, first off, if you're just starting out, just use a pencil and paper. I know it sounds basic and stuff, but gotta be honest now, if you're just starting out and you just want like, if you want to get to that point where you have like super elite, amazing looking digital art, really the best way to go about it is first learn how to draw.
Yeah.
Because trust me, you're going to regret it a hell of a lot more if you like buy a bunch of expensive equipment. Even the cheapest drawing tablet will still run you quite a bit. And then like in the end you can't draw. It's like, no, dude, just learn on paper first, because believe it or not, once you get all the basics down on paper, it's super easy to transition over into digital. And also, once you get it looking good on paper, it looks good. You don't even need to digitize it. What looks good on paper still looks freaking good.
And
And if you're gonna stick with the paper stuff, generally what you want to get, this is what I get from Aaron and people all the time, like go for like the 90-pound paper and make sure it's acid free and wood pulp free too.
Mm-hmm.
And
I didn't know that. I usually just go with something that's just a really fine grit, but that's just because I don't do much shading anymore. So, like, if you're doing stuff with like charcoals and whatever, then like yeah, the thick stuff is good.
and it just makes it also
Otherwise-
easier to erase your lines, and so you don't get those lines all over the place.
Valid.
along with that, with pencils, yeah, you can use simple mechanical pencils, but in all honesty, just getting a decent drawing pencil will do a lot of wonders for you. But you also may actually have to get a physical eraser instead of just using the back of one like for a school project.
Actually, you know.
Oh yeah, I use a pencil eraser. Like, what am I thinking of here? Those erasers where they're shaped like a pencil, and that's what I use.
But of course, if you're on an extreme budget, these are just suggestions if you have at least a little bit of money. If you're at extreme dollar store budget, a simple dollar store mechanical pencil and a pad of lined paper can get you started. The important thing is to just get started. You don't have to make it look incredibly perfect, but you need to get the practice in.
Also, as far as if we're on the topic of pencil still, for my sketches, I actually use a sort of blue pencil. It's called the Ticonderoga Erasable Blue 420T. I know, 420, shut up. But yeah, it actually works really well. This is like the kind of pencil that's like blue. When you work with blue, it's great for if you're planning on doing inking. Not so much if you're just planning on like, posting a sketch, but like if you're planning on inking it afterwards, it makes it easier to see like what I don't
What's
know.
inked and what's not.
Yeah.
And plus, you can actually hide away your lines a lot easier tw, because of how much
Absolutely.
things go.
Yeah. So I'd highly recommend these. They're not expensive, right? They're at least not really much more than the average pencils. So
Yeah,
and they're Ticonderoga. So
Are they
and
all?
the thing is about the paper is it's pretty much exactly the same price as your normal printer paper, so you're not running any more.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask real fast. I did try to bring up the Ticonderoga here real fast just to have it to show, but all I'm getting is checking pencils.
Go with Ticonderoga Erasable Blue 420T. I can find it on Amazon.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the paper I normally use from Amazon. So, where is it?
Yeah.
And I'm just going through my old graphic arts thing to try and help with like doing the paper stuff, and I just came across a little sketch of an original Toa going "know this," pointing up to the common weights of paper.
Oh shit! I almost want to get these pencils just because they kind of look a little fun.
Okay,
Ticonderoga Noir Black Wood Case, number 2 pencils, holographic design, 12 count. They're holographic pencils.
Sorry, where should I post these two?
Go ahead and post it in the content creation or the
Content
backstage.
creation,
Backstage will
yeah.
work great, actually.
Okay, I'll show.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and post this in the backstage, but we will, any important information we will add into our notes. But yeah, as for the, like we mentioned with the paper, you can see cardstock with a simple 94 whiteness, 300. We don't have to go heavy detailed on this. So yeah, a lot of this is going, if you're brand new, is going to immediately go over your head and it'll probably freak you the hell out. I mean, I'm just reading heavyweight
so
white 94 brightness. That might, set some
Just
people
get
off.
yourself a nice little pad of paper,
this is where
and even if you want the feel of wood, even just getting like golf pencils.
Oh, they are checking pencils. Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Basically, a second for that brightness, it's just a measurement of how much light reflects to do the contrast.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that you don't have to stress so much about the paper. Just remember, acid-free helps. Wood pulp-free helps. You don't need it if you can't budget it. You can go as cheap as possible if you want. But if you want to, up the quality even a little bit when it comes to physical drawing, then yes, a little goes a long way.
And yeah, printer sheets for $13. That's gonna last you a while.
Yeah.
And
I would pick some different pencils, though.
Yeah, we were seeing you, Sonic.
Yep. Basically, one of the things that I just rediscovered, a matte finish for a paper is not a bad thing because it's lightly coated and should be able to be a little bit rough, but able enough to absorb whatever you put on it.
I'm not gonna lie though, like I've done a lot of stuff on just standard prayer paper that looks just fine. So by all means, if you're just starting out, just freaking go to your printer, pull out some paper. Well, okay, maybe don't pull the paper out of the printer. Someone will hate you eventually.
Actually,
But go over to your printer, go to the giant stack of paper and just grab some sheets, grab a pencil, go for it, find yourself a good reference, whatever you're trying to draw, and don't copy the reference, don't copy it, but just try your best at just freehanding it, see what you can do, and yeah.
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. We will definitely get into that in a little bit.
I'm getting ahead of myself, but at the end of the crux of it, just like when it comes to material, you just need a pencil and a paper, and you're ready to go. But if you want to make that extra step, by all means, get some nice blue pencils and some nice fancy paper. Hell, may even get some nice inking supplies. Either if you feel like going with the brushes, which I don't know anything about the brushes, or the classic pit pens. Go for it. Ooh, I should get a link to my pit pens that I use. They're not the best, but they're also not the worst.
All right. Well,
I need to get myself a couple of extra mechanical pencils for when I do shading and stuff, instead of just using one pencil for everything.
All right, getting back on track here. So you're thinking, but some of you might be thinking to yourselves, okay, I've done the practice with a pen and paper. I'm ready to start doing some more digital stuff. Tablets, and there are many options with tablets as well as even Surface laptops nowadays, and even iPads.
Another thing you need to remember, if you really want to start with digital, and you can't afford any of these, and you're already on a computer.
Hold on, if you're gonna start, I do suggest going with pencil and paper. Wait until you're more experienced to go into digital. But if you feel you're ready to go into digital,
Yeah, it's a big step. It is more of like, if you really want to do this,
yeah.
type of thing.
For now, okay, that's a weird image. But all right, so yeah, digital. There are many ways to go about it, and I actually did look into this a few weeks back, and it was fun, to say the least. Now, of course, we're just going to do a little bit of brush up here. With digital tabs, usually there's three that can be agreed on right off the bat. First off, Wacom, and that is not the right say. Wacom. Wacom.
Wacom.
But
Wacom.
Wacom?
I thought it was Wacom.
I think it's Wacom. I think I just said it really dumbly. But Wacom is usually the go-to that I hear a lot of digital artists talk about when they come to tablets. However, Wacom, it does come with one big problem. They tend to be expensive because they are known. Now,
It depends. Like, it depends on the size and the type.
Yeah.
The size, the type, the age, there's a lot of differences. If you go for an all-around Ranger, though, I've seen them around $100 to even $1,000, though. The $1,000 one was basically the equivalent of another monitor that you can draw on.
Circuit, ask me the price of my Wacom tablet.
What is the
What
price
was
of
your
your
price?
Wacom tablet?
$2,000 fucking dollars.
So
That is more than my 3D printer.
Yeah, so take my advice. Don't be stupid like me. Don't get the 22-inch Wacom tablet. It's way more than you need. It's a lot of real estate, and also you'll have to rearrange your entire fucking desk. Don't be like. Although, tell you what though, it's nice because I fucking enjoy it. As much as I say don't do it, at the same time, oh my god, I fucking love it. I love the fact that I can just change the size of my brush by awkwardly stroking the back of the monitor. It is legit.
Yeah,
You spent more money on that than I spent on my whole entire car. Congratulations.
and
Again,
I do have to test. I think my tablet costs about $80, and it's just a small little thing that it does work really well. However, the reason I also bring it up is it wasn't my first tablet. No, my first tablet actually was Monoprice, and some of you might know Monoprice and its reputation with products as well as tablets. Don't let it fool you. It actually does work rather well, especially since they come off a lot cheaper. Usually $20, $30, $40 for a Monoprice tablet that actually does rather decently. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be massively pressure sensitive and let you get the fine edges and like you're drawing a fantastic piece of artwork on the Sistine Chapel. No, this is like line art, thick lines, but this will get you started on actually drawing digitally and getting used to the fact that when you're drawing digitally, you have to get used to your mouse and your drawing being on one screen and the actual drawing happening away from that. And that is disorienting at first. Because it's one thing to draw on paper and you can actually physically see the lead, see the line being drawn as you're drawing it. It's another when you basically have to memorize where your hand is and where that line is going to show up on the screen.
the counterpoint to this is if you have a program with auto shapes, you can always approximate and try and get a shape right and then work from there.
Of course, that is also program. We're talking about tablets.
I've got to be honest, when it comes to tablets, the tablet that I started with, they don't make anymore. But the closest one that they make to that, which was the Wacom Intuos, I had the Wacom Intuos Bamboo, whatever the fuck, I can't remember. It was like an 11-inch drawing space or whatever on it. And it didn't have a screen. It was just, standard. You draw and stare at your monitor and then, draw the same line like 30 times. I'll tell you what, you can actually make some pretty awesome, legit-looking stuff with it. And once you get good at it, you can actually streamline things pretty well. Though the current modern equivalent, or at least the best equivalent I can find currently on Amazon, is something like $300-ish. But for the medium size, which I believe was about the same size, which that's a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie. So if but they work well. And as far as the pressure sensitivity and all that jazz, they're legit. I like them. I'd recommend it personally, but that's just me. Do you, buddy? You do you.
Exactly. One thing I want to remind everybody is these are all suggestions that we know from a personal lever. Pull the lever.
Personal lever.
Pull the lever, Cole. But these are from a personal level. These are things that we've experienced on our own, and either things that we've learned that we should have done, things that we did do, and things that we didn't do and we regretted it. Or things that we didn't do and we realized it was the better choice. But everybody has their own different flavors. So if you feel like you want to take a different path, go right ahead. And we encourage it. We're just giving you our suggestions from what we've learned, what other people have said to me when I've been asking around about this, and offering best suggestions to get started, especially if you're not sure where to go.
Oh, by the way, have you seen like some of the stuff that like T-Citrus done on like an iPad or like, you know, other artists have just done on their phone?
Actually,
Yeah,
I wasn't
bored. I was bored in my car, so I did this. I'm like, dude, stop.
Actually, I was going to bring that up, but before we do that, there's also another company that's doing tablets as well that a few artists have mentioned that I think deserves a little bit of mentioning here. Huion, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. Huion. They also do graphic drawing tablets. They are kind of a midway point. They're cheaper than Wacom. They're cheaper than Wacom, but more expensive than Monoprice. So it's an interesting middle point. But they have reviewed rather well, and I do know a good chunk of artists that also use these. So if in tablet wise, these are three that I can recommend that people have used. In my case, personally, on a few of them. But yeah, it is up to you if you want to do it. However, some of you also have, as was mentioned, iPhones, iPads. You have phones, and some of you may even have Surface Pro Windows systems or Chrome Surfaces.
You know what my sister uses? She uses a freaking Chromebook. That is what she draws on.
And those are legitimate.
She has it. Like she brings it to her. She brings it to work with her. She works in IT, so like most of the time there's not really too much going on, so she can just draw. And she just draws on that, and during breaks and stuff, and it works just fine. It works great for her. So hey. At the end of the day, as long as you can draw on pretty much anything.
Yeah. So if you actually have the money to blow on something like that, feel free to do that as well. Being able to draw on the go is pretty cool.
Or say if you just like already had the equipment, like say a lot of people already have an iPad, then fucking go for it. Just
If you have it, why not go ahead and put it to use?
In hindsight, I could probably use my freaking. So, I accidentally got a Samsung tablet.
How do you accidentally get a Samsung tablet?
Simple. I'm stupid, and I was getting a new phone.
Yep, that's
a
all.
bit of a phone. Well,
So
they look about the same size.
So basically, what I was doing, I was getting a new iPhone because my old one died on me for stupid reasons that we don't need to get into. Basically all you need to know is I'm an idiot. And anyways, so me being an idiot, I decided to buy another iPhone because why not? So when I was getting my phone, I was at the Verizon store and they were like, "Hey, guess what? You can get more data in for cheaper if you sign up for this." And you get a tablet too. And my mind just heard the first part and didn't hear the shit about the tablet. I'm like, okay, sign me the fuck up, dude. So then I cruise up when I get the call that my phone's in. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And they're like, okay, here's your phone. Here's your tablet. I'm like, what? Your tablet? I got a tablet? And they're like, yeah, you remember to get more data and shit? I'm like, oh... right. And that tablet has legit just been sitting in its box in the corner of my room for the past year.
Well, Cole, you can honestly take it out and use it as your drawing tablet at Brony.
Or at work, or wherever. I'm probably just going to bring a sketchbook with me to BronyCon, to be honest, and then ignore it in my bag and just use it as extra weight and maybe a place to store prints, which I need to draw things to make prints out of.
Well,
Cole, you could also use it as your freaking camera.
all right. Anyway, getting back on track here. If you're still not sure about tablets, or considering the fact that we don't know when you'll be hearing this information, things might have changed. Remember that there are plenty of review sites. There are plenty of review video viewers. I pulled up 5 best drawing tablets for 2018 and 19 video. This literally took me about 15 seconds. You can listen to... This guy looks constipated, though. Sorry, man. You really... I'd stopped this at a really bad time, apparently. But, seriously, listen to reviewers. Read reviews. Of course, don't listen and read reviews from sites that apparently look like, they'll sell you anything just to make a buck. But, you can get a lot of different reviews and thoughts on different tablets and maybe hear of something that we didn't even know of, or something new out there that actually works well for beginners. So,
in all honesty, this is something that you need to do yourself and how you want to do it.
Well, that's always the case, but we're just giving suggestions on where to start. Anyway, let's get into the big one here, because this was brought up in chat by Vaguely Creepy, and I wouldn't be surprised if other people have said it. So, yeah, programs. Now, drawing on a piece of paper, you don't need to install any programs or use any programs. However, eventually you're going to get to the point where you are going to want to digitally draw. And unfortunately, Microsoft Paint, the fact that I don't think it even exists anymore, or it just sucks.
MS Paint does not suck. It's all in how you use it.
MS Paint is lightweight compared to what is out there that is also free or cheap as free.
Yeah.
But
honestly, a combination of Paint and GIMP worked well.
Anyway, getting back...
GIMP is basically Photoshop, but for free.
Getting back on track.
Oh, I was on track. My fault.
Right. But yes, our programs are out there, and you are going to want to use them. Now, a lot of people immediately go for the well-known brand. I'm immediately going to say Adobe Photoshop.
That's what I've got. I actually subscribe to the entire Adobe suite.
Are you mad? Yeah,
You
okay.
fool.
Actually, Cole pretty much sums it up right there. Now, Adobe was good. I'm not going to lie, Adobe was a good product, and I would be behind it if somebody was willing to shell a few $100s for a software. Adobe has abandoned the standalone software as of late. They are going for a more subscription-based model service. I don't like this, because it means the moment you don't pay for it, you don't get to use it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do actually like having the suite. But that's just because I'm me, and like I tend to use a lot of the programs and stuff, and I would've like if I didn't have the suite, I would have probably just stuck with like 2 programs, like just bought Premiere and Photoshop, and having these other programs at my disposal is actually pretty lit. But at the same time too, keep in mind that I spend like over $600 a year in one lump sum. You can pay for a monthly. I didn't, because I don't like to do that.
And even monthly, it's pretty expensive.
Actually, monthly it's more expensive. They raised the price on the monthly rate, but they didn't on the yearly rate, not yet. So they might not, or they might do so. I don't actually know.
But
At the current, they've not changed it, so hooray!
Yeah, this is why I say again, if you want to do this for free and work with all this, GIMP is a good option because it's basically Photoshop without having to pay for it.
That is one option.
Yeah, but like, hey, if you're like me and you just kind of want to work with programs that you know, and you just kind of learn Photoshop at some point, then by all means.
Yeah, if you know a program, you're going to be more inclined to go with it. I'm not going to stop you on that one. However, if you are willing or able to learn how to use a new art program, there are many, many options out there that are not going to fleece you dry, and Adobe can eat it for all I care, in all honesty. But that's another case. However,
I'm trying to remember what program one of my friends used.
Well, there's plenty of programs that I've actually heard about and know about, so we're going to go ahead and go through a few of them here. First off, as Toakoi keeps mentioning, so we might as well get it out of the way, GIMP. The new image manipulation program. It is a free and open source image editor, which means that you can get it, download it right now, use it as much as you want. You don't have to pay a dime unless you want to donate. Though, of course, the only problem that I am going to point out right off the bat with free image programs like this, they don't have an obligation to keep it updated and working. So eventually there could be a time that they decide that they're not going to update and keep it going anymore, and you'll be stuck with a program that is eventually going to wear itself down with Windows updates and eventually no longer work. A big reason I bring this up is there's another program that a lot of people still swear by, but the problem is that from what I understand, it's starting to lose effectiveness on systems. Of course, I'm talking about Paint Tool Psi.
Ah, sigh. I tried that once. I could not figure heads or tails of it.
Yeah, Paint Tool Psi is a lot more lightweight. It's a lot more lightweight, and it's actually being developed in Japan. But it does have a U.S. alternative. It's rather cheap. It's not free, but you can purchase a subscription to it cheap. Buy it for $10. That's pretty cheap. A lot of people use it and they swear by it, but I also heard from some artists that they're having troubles getting it to work nowadays. So, yeah, grain of salt. Another one that I've heard about is Clip Studio Paint. A lot of people.
I have actually used that one. I can say it works pretty well. Also, that's one my sister uses. It was also under the name Manga Studios. It's the same.
Yeah,
program.
then it switched companies, but it's still a really good program.
Yes.
So yeah, this one I also know a few friends that draw with it. They swear by it as well. And another one that actually I only heard about it today, but it does bring a chuckle and it looks interesting. Fire Alpaca.
Cool.
Yeah, right?
Hmm.
So Fire Alpaca, it's also a free paint tool. You can also donate if you want to. I do know a few different artists that do use it, and that is not what I was looking for. Okay. But yeah, a lot of people do swear by it. They say it's pretty good, and you may want to check it out. And another one that is also suggested, if you really like paint, is paint.net. Basically, this is your grandson's paint, your MS Paint, with a lot more options and ability to do some crazy
slow
things.
at times.
It can get slow, yes, but it is also free, so you get what you paid for. But it's also another free program. One that I use, one that I've been learning how to use. I actually paid for this because I enjoyed it so much that I bought it for my Steam, but you can get it for free. Krita. This was actually suggested for people that want to get off of Photoshop after Adobe started to do really stupid stuff. But yes, this works exactly like Photoshop. It can do a lot of great things. Of course, because it's Photoshop, it means it has a lot of power, and you have to know how to use it. So starting users may want to be careful about learning about using Krita, because you basically are going into the deep end of the swimming pool on this one. But I do enjoy it a lot, and I would swear enough by it that I paid for it. That says a lot. And a few other programs that were suggested, and also these are just fun ones that you can use. Sorry, bear with me a moment. I'm getting to where I was advised on a bunch of these. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we already did Clip Studio Paint, Digital Art, was in the Creative Autodesk, was in Best Buy Game. Mischief was apparently one, but no, that's not it. Yeah?
So I am going to draw some things because I said I was going to. Remember the thing I said I was going to?
Yeah.
So which should I like make a thing at the chat being like, hey, what should I draw for you to see maybe?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, chat. Listen up. I'm going to draw a thing. I should actually open the chat. That'd be a smart thing to do, but I didn't.
No.
Okay.
Don't be like me, children. I am
Gary's
bad
mounted
at
toward
things
the
and
training
everything.
grounds. I'm not sure if
All right.
what they allow.
Actually, the training grounds allow for. I think there's PG to PG-13. Don't anything that would not go on.
No. Not that. Does Gary's mod count toward training grounds?
I think it does technically because you do have to compose everything.
Well, no, I'm not sure on it. I'll have to double check the rules, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Mm.
But, okay, actually, two more I want to suggest here, and then I realize the time is really, really late, and we barely scratched the surface. We may have to make this a two-parter. So, really...
Oh.
So, two other ones, and these are just for fun, as well as maybe to get other people involved so you can all work together. There's two collaborative programs I know of called Drawpile. This is one you actually install on your system, but you can have people join with you to collaboratively draw on a single program.
The annoying thing about that is it doesn't show you the lines that have been drawn before you joined into the session.
So,
you
unless
guys,
everybody joins in when it's a
once-
blank slate, if nobody joins in when it's a blank slate, you're not going to know what's already there. Interesting.
I have to say, I enjoyed using it that one time when we just all just piled in and
We
with
didn't use
Commander and.
Drawpile.
Oh,
What
really?
did we use?
What did we use?
We used Aggie.io, which I've put into the backstage.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Aggie Dado, huh?
This
All right.
sounds better.
Free Photoshop-like, and from what it shows there, it seems Agamensar's actually been keeping up with some of the updates.
Cool.
Aggie Dado. Okay.
That means that it does work with current browsers.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. There's Pony in there and everything. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Aggie.io, which is also a collaborative painter. And another collaborative painter, which is completely online, but it unfortunately is also missing abilities, is Flock Draw. But this is completely online, so you don't have to install anything. However, because it's also completely online, there are some limits.
Yeah, the limit with Aggie.io is you can't input anything so that you can quick grab, if you're inputting a reference like in Photoshop, to just use the eyedropper tool to figure out, okay, what color do I need to put this main?
Yeah,
You have to do an outside method of getting those colors and then just remembering the hex code.
Also, something to do if you're doing show stuff, they always have that linked on the wiki. So,
all right. But as I mentioned, it looks like we're going way over time on this. I did not expect this to go as long as it did, so we're going to have to stop it for now. We're going to make this a two-parter. So, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get into our video segment here because we are running way late, and we should get into our video segment. So, all of this will be updated into our notes for the how to draw, and we will also... Stop that. We will also come back to this to... What the heck? Stop. Sorry. We'll come back to this next week. We will add on. We will do more. We will continue it on. But as for now... I think I gave you at least a decent enough jump off point to at least get started practicing, since the training dashboard is training board, whatever. Sorry.
training grounds.
Sorry. Equestria, my throat's dying here, and I'm trying to close up real fast so I can get a drink. The Equestria Training Grounds does have a tutorial on how to get pony models and stuff in, so you can at least get a basic idea there as well, since we didn't cover that just yet. We will cover that next week along with the rest of everything else. I did not realize that this would take this long, but also this means that it says a lot of good stuff.